Okay, part two. And this was a hard spot to separate it, but I needed to. Part two. I don't know how many parts this is going to have. Part two. Um, so, I remember when I was going through the part where he was cleaning me up, getting me to stop smoking. Boy, I fought hard on that one, because you have to mind at the time I got to back up a little bit. So, right when all this happened, that's how it works, right? Y'all fall apart, and then he puts you back together piece by piece. And he's still working on me. I am so far from perfect. But I trust in his word. It says he will finish the work that he started in me. But we had a young couple that worked. The man worked for my husband, and he does construction. And for 8 years, we had tried to help their parents. They were into things really bad, and we, of course, would take them back and forth to rehab and things. And, well, we had just helped the dad get out of jail, and they were separated because they'd been fighting, and it was a bad situation. And they were deciding to split up, but there were 4 kids involved. And he wanted to see his kids, so we talked to the mom and had the kids come over here. We had him in our camper, just out of jail, and we set up where he could come see the kids, and they could stay in the camper with him. And we promised the mom we'd look after it, make sure everything was okay. And by this time, he had a new girlfriend, and he asked one night to take him to dinner to meet his new girlfriend. At this time, I didn't know who his girlfriend was. And anyway, they left him my husband the new truck at the time. He was only like a little over a year old. And he didn't come. We told him to be back by 10:30, even though it was on a weekend with the kids because they were little. I think the youngest one at the time was just barely 2 in pull-ups. So he left, and 10:30 comes, rolls by, and he doesn't show up. I think he pulled in the driveway, according to our cameras, at no, at the time we didn't have cameras. That's right. Sorry. I want to make sure this is right. But anyway, he pulled in there, I think, around 5:30, because my husband was up looking. And we went back to bed. Well, it was about 8:30, 9 o'clock. We slept in a little bit because we was up half the night watching for him. And we got up, and here were all these babies, and they kept coming to the door wanting food and drinks, and all of them running around. And mind you, I had just built a brand new home. We didn't even have grass. It was still dirt, rocks, and tree branches and roots out in my front yard. And that's why the camper was over here that you could stay in. So they're all walking around barefooted. And the 2 youngest didn't have anything but underwear and a pull-up on. And the youngest, like I said, was barely 2. And the next to the oldest, or next up, wasn't even in school yet. None you had 2 in school, elementary school. And finally, no sign of Dad anywhere in the camper, out of the camper. Well, it goes on for several hours. It's getting close to lunch. And I said, okay. I said, Bill, bring the baby. Let's get the babies in here. I said, you take the 2 oldest boys and you take them into town and get them some snacks and some food and get some stuff for lunch. Let's feed them, figure out what in the world happened last night and why they didn't come in till this morning. Well, the 2 oldest sang like canaries, of course. the mom, the new girlfriend, and the dad were in the house all just partying it up. While the four babies slept in my husband's truck all night. This was in the summer. They didn't even have it running. And they told me things they seen, witnessed. Their mother OD'd. They didn't have any Narcan, so the dad had to do unthinkable things, and one of the boys seen it, the second to the oldest. And then the dad confirmed it when we finally talked to the dad that that's what happened. And that he confirmed that the second to the oldest walked in and seen it. Needless to say, I called DCS. Because I said, this is ridiculous. These children should not be put through this anymore. We have tried with the parents, taking them back and forth to rehab. I said, someone needs to be here for these kids now. We've given the parents 8 years of trying. So, anyway, 4 years later now, they're mine. I adopted them. It's not what I anticipated my life to be. But at the time, I knew that's what I should do. And at this time, I was big into the QAnon. And that whole mess, I'd been down more rabbit holes than anybody could shake a stick at. So I knew what would happen to 4 kids, especially that nobody wanted. And they said they'd have to separate them and put them in different homes. I couldn't live with myself. So we took them. Now, going through all that stress, I smoked like a freight train. Being almost 50. And taking this on, just when I was starting to be a grandma. I had 2 grandchildren and 1 on the way when this happened. And I just built my brand new home. Empty nested for about 5 years. It was a lot. It's still a lot. So pray for me on that. But irregardless, I know that's what I was supposed to do. But as I was trying to quit smoking, of course I fought it. I'm like, Lord, do you see what I'm going through? Please don't take this away from me. But I remember the day I really quit. There was a dogwood. Part 3. I'll be back.